So this is the final lesson of this series. We have covered a lot of ground. So we built a full web server with routing, middleware, a database layer, business logic endpoints, a live Flutter web dashboard, and server-side HTML with Mustache templates. The last thing we need to show is a third serving strategy, serving a plain SPA, a single page application built with any framework you choose, React, Vue, Svelte, vanilla HTML with JavaScript. It doesn't matter. So Serverpod's SpaRoute can serve any of them. Now let's wrap this series up properly. So a single page application is a web app where the browser downloads one HTML file, usually index.html, and then JavaScript takes over, rendering the rest of the UI and handling all navigation client-side without ever making a full page request to the server again. So the challenge this creates for a web server is URL routing. In a traditional multi-page website, if a user navigates to /settings, the server serves a settings.html file. But in a SPA, there's no settings.html file. So the only real file is index.html. The /settings URL is handled entirely by JavaScript in the browser. The app's route detects the URL and renders the settings view. So when a user directly loads localhost port 8082 /SPA /settings in the browser or hits refresh on that page, the browser asks your server for the file at the path /SPA /settings. Since that file does not exist, a naive static file server would return a 404. But what you actually want is to return index.html and let the JavaScript router take over. This is the SPA problem, and SPARoute solves it. Great. So before we build, let me clarify the relationship between SPARoute and FlutterRoute because they are closely related. So FlutterRoute is a specialized version of SPARoute built specifically for Flutter web apps. Under the hood, it uses the same fallback to index.html mechanism, but it adds two things Flutter web specifically needs, which is the WASM multi-threading headers that we mentioned and Flutter-specific smart caching for critical files. Now for this SPARoute is a general purpose version. So you use it for any non-Flutter SPA, React, Vue, Svelte, Angular, or a hand-rolled vanilla JavaScript app. It gives you the SPA fallback behavior plus configurable cache control and cache busting without the Flutter-specific additions. So if you're serving a Flutter web app, use FlutterRoute, as we did. If you're serving anything else, use SPARoute. Great, so for this lesson, we'll build a minimal vanilla JavaScript analytics read-only panel. I'm not going to get in-depth with it because most of you guys who follow here are mainly in the mobile space. It's not interactive, just a read-only view that fetches data from our API and displays it. So we'll keep it simple intentionally so the focus is on the serving mechanism and not on React or Vue configurations, okay? So let's create a folder called React_app in our web directory in the server package. In a real project, this folder will contain the output of the command npm run build from your React, Vue, or any other framework's build process. If you have interacted with the website, you may understand what I'm saying. So for our purposes, we're creating the files manually. We're just going to create one file called index.html in our React_app folder. And this is how it will this is what it will look like. I'm not going to go into detail in it, but this is how a complete single file SPA would look like. It has its own HTML, CSS, and JavaScript all in one file. And when you run the command npm run build, it compiles everything to this one file. So the JavaScript fetches from our existing summer endpoints that we defined earlier using the same API key middleware we built in lesson 4. So in a real React or Vue project, this will be replaced by the output, as I mentioned, of our build tool. In this case, the npm. Okay. So the index.html entry point and a bundle. Now let's register it. So we open server.dart and add the SPA route registration. It has to be before pod.start method. So SPA route takes two things: the directory containing our SPA's build files and the fallback file, the index.html, that should be served for any URL that does not match a real file. The second argument to add route is /SPA, which mounts the entire SPA at that subpath. So localhost port 8082 /SPA loads the app. If the JavaScript router inside the app navigates to /SPA/settings, the server correctly serves the index.html again, and the JS router handles the rest because we don't have a settings.html, remember? So now let's restart the server and open localhost port 8082 /SPA. The vanilla JS panel loads and fetches data from our Serverpod API and will display the live analytics numbers served by SPA route. Okay. As you can see how it looks, quite simple. It displays properly and we get to see our data. So it feels much simpler than our Flutter web app, and it's quite lighter as well. So let's understand what SPA route is actually doing, because it is built on top of primitives we already know. So internally, SPA route uses FallbackMiddleware combined with static root directory. So the logic is try to serve the request as a static file from the directory. If no matching file exists and the response will be a 404, serve the fallback file instead. As we have defined, our fallback will always be index.html. You can wire this up manually using FallbackMiddleware directly if you need more control over the fallback condition. For example, if you want to fall back on any for something error, not just for, you'd update and write a custom fallback logic. Now, this is the last lesson, so let me give you a complete picture of all three serving strategies we have covered and when to reach for each one. Okay, so the Flutter route. You use it when the app is a Flutter web build. It is SPA route with Flutter specific additions, has WASM multi-threading headers and smart per-file caching as we mentioned earlier. If you compiled your app with Flutter build web --WASM, this is always the right choice. Then we have SPA route. You use it when the app is any other SPA, React, Vue, Angular, Svelte, or even a hand-rolled vanilla JS app. Drop the build output into the directory, point SPA route at it and at your index.html, register it at a path, and it works. You can also add cache busting if you need to. Then we have the widget route and the template widget that we talked about when we're talking about the server-side HTML. Use it when you want the server to regenerate the HTML for you, so there's no JS bundle needed. It's ideal for read-only pages, SEO indexed content, and lightweight admin tools that do not need the full weight of a client-side framework. So the server does the work, the browser just displays the results. So all three coexist on the same Serverpod web server, which is amazing. Our final server.dart runs all of them simultaneously. So the Flutter dashboard at /dashboard, the Mustache status page at /status, and the vanilla SPA panel at /SPA. Then we also have the API routes under /API, remember? And the ones that were default pre-configured are the static assets under the /static. So it's one process, one database, one Dart project. This final lesson, we served a plain vanilla JavaScript SPA using SPA route, understood the fallback mechanism internally, and assembled the complete final server.dart running all three serving strategies simultaneously. Great. So thank you for following along to the end. You now have a complete practical understanding of Serverpod's web server, everything you need to build real production web experiences alongside your Flutter mobile app, all in Dart, all in one project. See you on the next one.